Let's be honest, we don't really think about our liver much, do we? But this organ is absolutely central to our metabolism and our long-term health. When it starts to fail, everything else follows. Today we're going to uncover 5 things that could be destroying your liver right now. And I'll bet the biggest one isn't what you think it is.
So if I ask you that question, what's the first thing that pops in your head? For pretty much everyone, the answer is automatic: alcohol. And yeah, for a long time, that was the main story. But the truth is, the fastest growing cause of chronic liver disease today has absolutely nothing to do with drinking. That's right, the biggest threats to your liver are hiding in plain sight, probably in your kitchen right now. We're talking about foods and drinks that have become so completely normal, you might be having them every single day without even a second thought.
And that is what makes this a true, unseen epidemic. It's happening quietly inside millions of people who honestly believe they're living a pretty healthy life. The condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFD. Now, the name was literally created just to distinguish it from the alcohol-induced kind, but that's created this really misleading impression that somehow it's a less serious version. Let me be clear, the consequences are just as severe. We're talking inflammation, scarring, also known as cirrhosis, and even total liver failure.
So, let's pull back the curtain on the first and arguably the single biggest driver of this whole epidemic. It all starts with sugar, but a very, very specific kind of sugar.
You see, not all sugar is created equal. There's a massive difference between glucose and fructose. When you eat glucose, think starchy foods, it's like general-purpose fuel for your entire body. Your muscles use it, your brain runs on it, every cell gets a piece. But fructose is different. It's like a heat-seeking missile aimed directly at your liver. It bypasses all the normal checkpoints and gets processed almost exclusively there. It's a direct, targeted hit.
So here's the play-by-play. Fructose slams into the liver. The process of dealing with it literally drains your liver cells of their energy currency, a molecule called ATP. This process also creates a flood of uric acid and inflammation. Your liver sees this chaos and basically panics, thinking there's an energy crisis. Its response? To trigger an emergency fat production process called de novo lipogenesis, which is just a fancy way of saying it aggressively turns all that fructose into brand new fat right there inside your liver cells.
So, where are we getting this massive fructose hit from? Well, the number one culprit by a long shot is sugary drinks. When you chug a soda, a sweet tea, or even a glass of healthy fruit juice, you're essentially fire-hosing your liver with a massive dose of fructose that it just can't handle. And here's the real kicker. Because it's liquid, your brain doesn't register those calories in the same way as food. You don't feel full. So you just stack those calories on top of your meals, creating the perfect storm for fat storage.
Okay, so we've got sugar in our sights, but it's not working alone. Let's move to our next factor, because it's not just about sugar. It's also about the type of fats we eat, which have created this profoundly inflammatory situation inside our bodies. For most of human history, our diet contained a pretty healthy balance of omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids, maybe around 4:1. But just look at this chart. In our modern diet, that ratio has completely exploded. We're now looking at something closer to 20:1. I mean, this is a radical, unprecedented shift in the human diet.
And what's driving this? It's the massive industrial production of refined seed oils. Corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, the kind that's in pretty much every processed food, from salad dressing to crackers. When you have that much pro-inflammatory omega-6 and not nearly enough anti-inflammatory omega-3, you create a constant low-grade state of inflammation throughout your body. And your liver is right there in the crossfire. All right, so we've covered what you're eating, but this next part is a real game changer for a lot of people. It turns out when you eat and simply how much might be just as important.
Yep, you heard that right. Your liver isn't just a passive organ waiting for food. It has a schedule, a strict 24-hour internal clock, or circadian rhythm. It's programmed to do certain jobs during the day and completely different jobs at night.
Think of it like a factory with 2 different shifts. The day shift's job is to process all the incoming shipments. That's the food you eat. But the night shift, they're the cleanup and maintenance crew. Their job is to repair the machinery, clean the floors, and get everything ready for the next day.
So, what do you think happens when you send a big delivery truck, say a midnight snack or a huge dinner right before bed, to the factory when the night crew is on duty? They aren't equipped for it. They just have to shove that delivery into a storage closet to deal with later. And in your liver, that storage closet is fat. You're forcing it to do the wrong job at the wrong time.
And that leads us to the other side of this trap, which is honestly the most simple of all, just chronic overeating. And we're not even talking about huge binge eating sessions. We're talking about the slow, silent creep of a few hundred extra calories a day, maybe from that fancy coffee drink or that extra serving at dinner that over time just adds up. Your liver becomes the main depot for all that excess energy, and slowly but surely, it just fills up with fat.
Okay, after all that doom and gloom, you might be feeling a little discouraged. But I want you to burn this one number into your brain. This might be the most important number in this entire explainer. -10%. So why is that number so powerful? Because research shows that losing just 10% of your body weight can have an absolutely incredible effect. When people achieve this, studies show that, quote, liver fat drops dramatically, inflammation clears up, and even early scar tissue can heal. Think about that for a second. Even scar tissue can heal. This isn't about some impossible goal. It's about a modest change that unleashes your body's own healing power.
And that's the perfect way to transition to our final and, frankly, most hopeful section. Because despite all these threats, your liver has a superpower.
So when you look back at everything we've talked about, the fructose, the seed oils, the late-night eating, the extra calories, what's the one thing they all have in common? They are all completely, totally 100% normal parts of modern life. Nobody bats an eye.
But here's the truth bomb. Normal and healthy are not the same thing. Not anymore. What has become normal is actually fueling this epidemic. And this is the crucial point, because if these things are under your control, it means you have the power to change them. We've just flipped the script. These 5 liver destroyers are actually 5 levers of control that you can pull. You can consciously reduce fructose from added sugars. You can ditch the sugary drinks. You can choose healthier fats to cook with. You can give your liver a break by eating at a daytime window, and you can create that small, consistent calorie deficit. You are in the driver's seat.
And this all leads back to that superpower I mentioned. Your liver is a biological marvel. It's one of the only organs in your entire body that has this extraordinary, almost magical ability to regenerate itself. It can bounce back from significant damage. It wants to heal itself. You just have to give it the chance.
So you know the playbook now. You know what's causing the harm. And you know that it's not some rare toxin, but everyday choices. Your liver is sitting there right now, ready to start the repair process. It's ready to heal. The only question left is, are you ready to help